Namaste, this is Dr. Sridhar, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government City College, Hyderabad, and today's topic is double entry system of accounting. So, before looking at what is double entry system, before the invent of double entry system, the accounting was done by using single entry system, which has got many drawbacks and which is also known as unscientific or incomplete record of accounting. Luca Paslio, Italian merchant who has developed the concept of double entry system in 1494. He is also called as father of accounting. Now let us look at what is double entry system. So double entry accounting is based on simple concept. Each party of a business transaction will receive something and give something in return. In bookkeeping terms, what is received is a debit and what is given is a credit. The T account is a representation of a scale or balance. When you look at the scale or balance, on the debit there is a receive and on the credit there is a give. And this can also be even present in the form of a T account. The left side represents receive, which we call it as a debit. Right side it is presented as give, which is called as a credit. That means in a double entry system, each transaction is analyzed into debit and credit. The double entry system, we record each transaction with at least one debit and one credit, and here the total of debit must be equal to the total of credit. Each transaction must still be analyzed to determine which accounts are involved, whether the accounts increase or decrease, and how much the balance will change. This implies that we need to analyze the transaction and try to identify the accounts which are involved in the transaction, and we need to even look at or identify those accounts which are increased by the transaction and the other account which is decreased by the transaction, and what will the balance of change need to be identified. Some business enters into thousands of transactions daily or even hourly. Accountant must carefully keep track of and record these transactions in a systematic manner. Accountants use a double entry accounting system in which at least two accounts are always affected by each transaction. There should be a minimum of two accounts in a given transaction. That means there are two accounts that are affected by a given transaction. Let us look at the classification of accounts. There are some asset accounts like cash, notes receivable, accounts receivable, prepaid expenses, land, building, equipment, etc. Similarly, there are accounts which are related to the liability like notes payable, accounts payable, accrued liabilities for expenses incurred but not paid, long-term liabilities like bonds, debentures, etc. And accounts relating to owner's equity, capital or owner's interest in the business, that is the capital of the owner, withdrawals, revenues and expenses. Here we can classify the accounts into three according to the double entry rules. One is the real account, which deals with the assets of the organization, and personal account, which deals with all the transactions relating to the persons, and nominal account, which deals with all expenses, losses, incomes and gains. And the debit and credit rules of these accounts are: real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. With regard to personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver, and in respect of nominal accounts, debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. These are the rules which will help an accountant in recording the transactions in accounting language. In order to record the transactions in double entry form, there should be two accounts which need to be identified in a given transaction, and the account need to be identified as a debit account and credit account. Accordingly, a transaction will be recorded in the accounting language. Now let us look at the double entry system of recording. What is the two-sided effect of transactions? Take example of a transaction bought furniture for cash. Here the two accounts which involves in this transaction is, one is the furniture and the other one is the cash. Here, when we are purchasing the furniture, the asset cash is decreasing and the furniture asset is increasing. That is, one asset is increasing and other asset is decreasing. So these two side effects need to be analyzed under double entry system. Let us look at another example. Took a loan in cash. Here, when we are taking the loan, the asset in the form of cash is increased in the organization. Similarly, there will be an increase in the liability of the organization from whom the loan has been taken by the organization. Note that the accounting equation equality is maintained after recording each transaction. That means there should be equal, that is, the total of the debit must always equal to the total of credit, wherein there will be a perfect balance. As you know, double entry system is a proof, that is, the balance sheet is a proof of double entry system. Now let us take some examples in order to verify how this balance is maintained or how the double entry system of accounting takes place. Say for example, on November 1st, 2002, A started a sole proprietorship called XYZ Limited. The following double entry transaction shows how amounts received debits always equals amounts given credits. Here the transaction is Amit deposits 25,000 rupees in a bank account for XYZ Limited. Now look at what that happens. There are two things here. One is Amit, the owner of the organization, and the other one is XYZ Limited. Who is receiving and who is giving? Let us look at this example. When Amit is depositing the cash is received by the bank. Similarly, a promise to the owner, that is, who is the giver here? The giver is the Amit and the receive is the cash. And here the form in which the transaction is recorded in the double entry is called as a journal entry, and here the debit account is cash account and the credit account is Amit capital account. Let us look at another example. XYZ Limited buys land for rupees 20,000. Here there are two things. One is the land and the other one is the buyer. The company is the buyer. Here, when the XYZ company has purchased the land is coming into the business. What we call is the debit, what comes in, that is a asset which is coming into the business, and the credit which is going out is called as the cash. The cash is moving out of the organization. So the debit account is the land and the credit account is the cash. Next, the third transaction is XYZ Limited buys supplies for rupees 1,350, agreeing to pay in the near future. Here the amount to the supplier is due by the XYZ Limited. XYZ Limited being the buyer and the seller being the supplier. Who is receiving and who is giving? Let us have a look on. Here, as we have purchased some goods, we are receiving from, that is, the XYZ Limited being the buyer has received the amount of the goods, that is in the form of purchases 1,350, and here we are giving, that is the supplier, we are giving a promise that we will be paying the amount later on date in the form of a account payables, which is recorded on the credit column. The debit column is the debited account is purchases and the credit account is accounts payable. Similarly, XYZ Limited earns fees of rupees 7,500 receiving in cash, and here the customer is the buyer and XYZ Limited is the seller. There are two persons involved here. Now the customer, we are XYZ Limited is receiving an amount of rupees 7,500 rupees in a form of a fees, and here we have received the fees earned. which is a credit. The next one is XYZ Limited paid wages rupees 2125, rent 800, commission 450 and miscellaneous 275. Here the XYZ company has incurred different expenses. We'll see how this transaction is recorded in a double entry system. So here, various suppliers, they have given us some benefit in the form of a services, and XYZ has received some services. The receives, whatever the services that are received in the form of a wages, rent, commission and expenses is recorded in the debit column or debit account. Similarly, what we are giving cash to the various suppliers, which is recorded on the credit column. Then the next transaction is XYZ Limited pays rupees 950 to creditors on account. There is some amount to be paid to the suppliers, which is paid by XYZ Limited. Here the suppliers are the payee and XYZ Limited is the payer. Who is receiving and who is giving, let us have a look on. So here accounts payable is receiving. There is reduction in the obligation. Earlier we are due by some amount, and here we have paid some amount that is received by the suppliers, that is in the form of an account payable, which is debited, and the cash which we are giving, that is the XYZ Limited being the payer, he is paying some amount of cash to suppliers, which is paid, is recorded on the credit column. Next, Amit withdraws rupees 2000 in cash. Here Amit payee and XYZ Limited the payer. Here the reduction in the obligation, that is the XYZ company is paying and the Amit is receiving. Amit being the drawings is recorded on the debit, and the cash as it is paid by the XYZ company is paid. So thank you very much.